So this is an introduction video to our tiny house. It sits on a double axle trailer which is made of pre-galvanized steel, and it has brakes on both axles, and it measures 7.5 by 2.5 meters, plus the drawbar, which is about 1.7 meters. So overall that adds up to, what is it, 8.5, just over 9 meters. The height is about 4.2, which is well within the limits allowed. So this tiny house is towable with a regular car license without any special permissions, presuming that the vehicle is able to tow approximately 2.7 tons. We estimate that the weight of this tiny house is. So it is warranted and registered. Yeah. So the cladding of the tiny house is microcarpa, which is stained with natural oil from an outfit in Motueka. I believe they're called Natural House. So the oil is really, really good and easy to work with, and it brings out the shine of the wood. The video probably doesn't do it justice, but it's a very nice product. And then the framing of the house is wood, so that is tannalized wood. It's 70 wide by 45, and then there's a cavity batten in between the framing and the cladding, which you can see here, which is pretty standard for a normal house. So while we're down here, you'll see that the bottom is insulated with polystyrene, which is glued in between all the spots in the trailer. And you can also see the waste plumbing, which comes out on the other side. This pipe here is comes from the toilet, and it's the urine collector. So this would go into a container, which would then get emptied as you go. So the insulation of the walls is glass wool, and so is the ceiling. On this side we see the connections to the utilities and whatnot. So we've got gas bottles. You can hold 2 gas bottles, so the other one would sit here. These would be taken away during transport. This is just to hold them in place. This is done as per the code. Here we have a hot water calefont. It's a 16 liter per minute calefont, which is more than enough for even in the coldest winters. Water connection is here. So this is where you would plug it into your mains water supply. If you didn't have mains water supply, a separate pump unit would be placed somewhere next to the gas bottles, which will then pump the water from whatever container you might have, from a stream, from a tank, or whatever. It could also be gravity fed into the house. Yeah. This here is a plug. So it's a standard 16 amp plug. So you can connect the house to your generator to top up the batteries if required, or to the grid as well. If we continue on this side, you'll see there's a couple of vents. This one here is for the fridge, just to help cool off the fridge or ventilate the back of the fridge a bit more. This one here is for the gas oven, so this is the air intake for it. Out here we have the outlet for the wastewater. So this is, you'd connect this to a flexible hose and connect it to a soak pit or a holding tank or whatever you might go with. I just want to show you on the roof. You got 2 solar panels at their 290 watts each, which produce plenty of power. And then there is the flue. You can only see the cowl, but the cowl comes off and the panels fall down during transport, so you're within your height limits. So the trailer is warranted and registered for another 2 years or even 3 years. All the lights are LED. That goes inside as well, plus all these. Okay, and let's go in now. So this is a French door, which opens on both sides. Sort of clips together, pretty standard. And it's got another clip down here. So here we go. Give you a sort of a 3D view first, and then talk about the different parts of it. So, as you walk in, this is the entrance. Be good to have a wee patio in the front there, but that'll depend on the site where it ends up being parked. But this is the entrance slash veranda and everything else. So you walk in and you come into the living sort of area, which has a foldable couch which transforms into a nice comfy bed, and sort of an office nook with a foldable desk. So this part here comes down. You can just remove that leg and it comes down. I'll show more about that in the kitchen one, which is exactly the same. And then here you've got a USB cable sticking out of the wall, which you can pull out and connect to your computer, and then that comes out in the wall and comes out up there. So if you wanted to have a TV, you can connect, or a screen, and you can connect the HDMI to it and then stream from your computer. So this is the computer nook. Then you've got a wood burner, which is fairly decent size for a tiny house. It's still compact and small, but it'll put out plenty of heat. I've tried it out and it made the whole place very toasty. So that's the flue I was talking about on the outside. So here is the sort of a half wall between the loft and the living area. You have a shelf there that you can put books on or whatnot, and a bit of decoration. So the walls are lined with plywood, non-treated plywood, which is 9mm thick, so it doesn't warp. And the seams are worked with are done with flexible silicone and some other sealants to make it look pretty much seamless. So there's a seam right here. You can somewhat see it, but it's fairly flush. So the paint is from natural paint from Christchurch, so it's really good to work with to start with. It doesn't have any toxic chemicals in it, unnecessary stuff that they put in paints these days. So it's a very cool solution. There is some leftovers which I'll leave with the house. The ceiling is veneered plywood, which is varnished with linseed oil, and the trim around is Remu. Also, all of the window frames are Remu. When I say frames, I mean trim, this stuff here. So that's all Remu. The flooring is gum, and it's finished with Danish oil. So the table here in the kitchen, so now we're moving in the kitchen. This is sort of the dining area. So these chairs come with it. They're foldable chairs, so they fold together fairly easy. I'm not sure if I can do it with one hand. Just do this. So they come up like that. You can fold them together and store them aside. I'll move the other one for now, just so I'll show you how the table folds off. So you can leave some of the stuff in that area there, and then you simply move this leg away, and the whole thing comes down. So you end up with this, plenty of space. And moving over to the kitchen, you've got a fridge, one cupboard and two sets of drawers, plus this little drawer down here underneath the stove, which gives you extra storage room. So all of these are sliding mechanism drawers. So this is again Remu. This is recycled Remu, all natural wood. Also this is wood. Not sure what this one's called, but it's definitely wood. It's quite heavy. And then we have another cupboard up here with two shelves, and it also has a soft close up there as well. Fairly standard sink with a nice foldable faucet. Which works. Down here, plenty of space, so the cupboards go all the way down to the floor, so you maximize the use of space in there. And the trap is neatly hidden in the back. And you have a 3-burner cooktop, which folds up like this. And it's also a gas oven. And that's window on the back. So lighting in here. I'll go throughout all the lighting later on. So then at this end we have the bathroom, which shuts off like so. So you have a sliding door. Turn on the light. The light switch is out here. And we go inside. So in here we come in and we see a mirror with me in it. Hello. This here is a bath. And once we fold this away, you can see there's a full-size bath in here. With a rain head, shower, handheld shower, and a faucet for the spout for the bath, and it all regulates throughout this valve here, so this clicks into different positions depending which way you want to let it go out. So this one flicks it over to that, and the other one as well. Moving over, this is the sink. So you have again a recycled Remo drawer, which is all available storage space. This top one is blocked because that's where the plumbing is, but the other three are usable. We've got 220-volt socket there and a 12/24-volt cigarette plug here, which neatly closes so that moisture doesn't go in it. Composting toilet with urine separator. So you open it up like so. You've got a urine separator there. So your solids go in there, the urine goes in the front and goes out through that little hole. And if you open this thing up, you'll see that there's a little tube which leads into a slightly bigger tube, which then goes through the floor and outside. And you've seen the outside pipe, which I've shown you before, and a box for sawdust to cover the solids. It's just there. So this toilet can rotate in the other direction as well. So the hole is made to fit, to accommodate the toilet being in either direction. So yeah. It comes with washing machine, which is a smaller model. It's a 3 kg washing machine. You can easily swap that if you prefer the bigger one, but this one does the job really good. Normal outlets for hot and cold water and power. Yep, so that's that. So if you close this off, you get nice privacy in here. It's pretty cool. Alright. This is the view from the other side. And then we have the upstairs. So these are the stairs to go up. They're made in a way that you use your right foot first and then your left foot to get up. So you walk on it, one and the other foot, and then you come up here and then you step left one and then you're up here. So you're in the bedroom. So this is a queen-sized bed with lights on either side and USB sockets, and a nice window with great view, hopefully. Smoke detector up there. The fence so you don't fall off, and access to the bed is from both sides, so you can go around and walk around both sides so you don't interrupt the other person that's sleeping while walking up and down. This here is the wardrobe. So for that one you can actually stand on the top stair there and dress up standing up, and then this side here would be for the smaller person, I suppose. And yeah, you can't stand there, but you got a nice woolen carpet here so you can easily crawl on it, and a wee hanging pole in the middle. You get a light switch here for the wardrobe, and then the other switch is for the stairs, so you can turn it on when you want to go and take a piss in the middle of the night. And then there's another switch out there which does this light for the stairs again as well. I'll show you the view from up here down to the living area. So here's your shelf I was mentioning before, the fireplace, computer nook, couch, and the nice painting. So to come down, you use your right foot first, and then you use your left one, and then come down. Simple as that. You can grab your hand, hold yourself here, and here you go, you're down. Easy as. So regarding power, as you saw, we have two solar panels up on the roof, and they are connected into this inverter charge controller hybrid thing here. So that fills up the batteries, which have 260-ish amp hours at 24 volts. So it's plenty of power in there, storage in there. So the batteries obviously then feed the house, and they do it via the same machine. So this machine, the inverter, then converts the 24 volt power from the batteries and makes it 240 volt and takes it into this side, and these are the fuses for it. So these will then feed your 240 volt normal sockets throughout the house, and then this side here is the DC side, so that's 24 volt, and this is everything else but those 240 volt sockets. So you have double wiring throughout the whole tiny house to save on conversion losses. So this one here is your breaker for the solar PV. So solar comes through that breaker, feeds into the inverter, and then from the inverter goes back out into the 240 and then around the house, and the 24 volt goes straight in to that and then goes around the house. So you got little fuses in here, and then these switches here, I need to put it right on what it is. So this is DC, this is AC, so this switch here pretty much turns off everything that's 24 volt related, and then this one here does the same for 240 volts. So that this is off, there's no power going into that thing, though it's still going because it gets power from the batteries, but 240 volt is not coming out, it's not coming in here. So that's that part. Yeah, it's fairly simple but efficient, and it's been tested and works really well. So you can connect this house to grid, or better still to a generator, and then use that to charge up your batteries and use it through the house as well. So there's a plug outside. You can plug the whole thing into your generator and top up your batteries if need be. Maybe in the winter at some point, but during the summer definitely not. And that's about it, I think. Having used natural products and materials in this tiny house makes it very livable. And even though it's new, it doesn't smell toxic. It smells really pleasant in here. I wish I could record it. It's also going to be very economic to live in here. Having a tiny fire to feed with wood shouldn't be too expensive. You have power coming from the sun, and replacing a gas bottle every 5 weeks or so to do your hot water and your cooking, it shouldn't really be expensive at all.